Published 0323 Est, the 11th of November 2017, updated 1356 Est, the 11th of November 2017. The marksman who shot dead a poor and defenceless lynx has defended the killing and said the big cat would have been impossible to tranquilize. Sniper Andrew Venables was hired by a council after Lilith the lynx escaped from Wild Animal Kingdom in Wales 3 weeks ago, amid fears she might attack a human. The 1.5-year-old is understood to have been shot dead after she was spotted sleeping in a closed caravan park a mile from the zoo, cowering beneath a car. The decision to kill the animal has been met with fury from the zoo's owner Tracy Turn, who described it as cruel and unnecessary. Mrs. Tweedy claims that the council are now refusing to hand back her remains after bringing in marksman Andrew Venables, pictured, who runs a local firearms training school, to kill Lilith in happier times. The big cat, called Lilith, was killed in Borth for the safety of the public, and animal rights activists are asking why the young Eurasian lynx could not have been sedated instead. Marksman Mr. Venables, who carried out the killing, said he had no option but to shoot the lynx because the tranquilizer darts take 15 minutes to take effect. He said this means the animal would have had enough time to run away. The animal was found in a caravan park, where tourism is vital, and the possibility of a darting response was never explored, he told The Guardian. It was further complicated by the dark, since it was a nighttime operation. But his comments were met with horror by people on Twitter. Wildlife photographer George Turner wrote, "Action needed to be taken. You are deluded by bloodlust. The only farce is that you didn't take 5 minutes to read about lynx. Disgusting." Now Ms. Tweedy, 47, claims that the council are now refusing to hand back her remains. Mr. Venables, pictured, told Mail Online that his company had previously trained staff at the wildlife park in the humane use of firearms. She said, "I am angry. There is nothing humane about shooting a defenseless creature. The council is saying Lilith went onto a populated part of the community, but that is rubbish. She was seen asleep under a caravan at a holiday park which is closed at this time of year. Lynx are not dangerous. They will run away from people, which is what she has been doing since she escaped." Mrs. Tweedy said she asked officials to use a tranquilizer dart on the animal but was told that was not possible. Furious, Twitter users also slammed the council, saying that the animal could have been stunned and recaptured. Outraged Alan Croxford added that the animal should be given a decent burial in the council's grounds in tribute. The lynx was spotted sleeping in a closed caravan park a mile from Wild Animal Kingdom, pictured, where it escaped by leaping over an electrified fence. Andrew Venables, the marksman said to have been brought in to kill the escaped lynx, told Mail Online that his company had previously trained staff at the wildlife park in the humane use of firearms. He said, "I can confirm that the zoo twice told Ceredigion council officials that they understood that the lynx may have to be humanely euthanized if it left the immediate area and got within 100 meters of occupied property. It was found 24 hours ago under a caravan on a caravan site. At that time they were told the lynx may have to be shot if they could not catch it. In 3 weeks they have not caught it. We have no further comment." But Mr. Venables told The Guardian that he had no option but to shoot the lynx because tranquilizer darts take 15 minutes to take effect, meaning the animal would have been able to run away. He said the animal was found in a caravan park, where tourism is vital, and the possibility of a darting response was never explored. It was further complicated by the dark, since it was a nighttime operation. He added, "The very sad truth is the fact an animal was allowed to escape in the first place and that the owners were unable to catch it over a 3-week period of grace. Sadly, action had to be taken after this farce." Mr. Venables describes himself as one of Europe's best-known rifle shooting instructors and works with hunters through his company WMS Firearms Training. He has more than 35 years' experience in wildlife management and target shooting and works with police forces, zoos, wildlife parks, NGOs and government departments. A Ceredigion council spokesman had earlier said it was with deep regret that the animal had been humanely destroyed. A statement shared by Aberystwyth Central Councillor Ceredig Davies on Facebook said, "It is with deep regret that Ceredigion County Council reports on the humane destruction of the Eurasian lynx that recently escaped from Borth Wild Animal Kingdom. Despite exhaustive multi-agency efforts to recapture the Class A animal, the multi-agency group responding to the incident received additional advice late on Friday afternoon, the 10th of November, from a specialist veterinary surgeon that the risk to public well-being had increased from moderate to severe due to the continued failure of the wild animal kingdom to recapture the lynx. This cage is where the lynx was kept along with 4 others before it escaped. The safety of the public was paramount, and therefore once the lynx had strayed over to a populated area of the community it was necessary to act decisively. According to the park, there have never been any recorded attacks by a lynx on a human. A statement from Dyfed Police on October 29 said the lynx is unlikely to approach people, but may attempt to take livestock or pets as food, but officials warned that they were wild animals with sharp teeth and claws and will attack if cornered or trapped. A later Facebook statement from both Wildlife Animal Kingdom said that staff were devastated by the hunting and killing of Lilith. It said, "For the past 3 weeks we have been tracking and attempting to catch her in a safe way. We have employed 24-hour, on-site help from expert trackers and animal recovery specialists who have been aiding us in our efforts, but she proved to be quite elusive. We have spared no expense or effort in our search. The only options available to us were live catching with nets, alluring her into one of the many bait traps that we built and placed in areas she was frequenting." Zoo staff member Kirsten Arnold is pictured searching for the lynx in the days before it was killed. The authorities lent us one bait trap that was too small and a few camera traps to aid us in our search. All other help we either employed ourselves or was offered freely by friends and members of the public. The owners added that Lilith escaped to the hill behind the zoo and made her way across a bog to remote, dense woodland. However, they were determined to bring her back safe and well, and categorically refused to allow marksmen to hunt her down. The statement continued, "We had been pressured from the start to allow marksmen to hunt her with live ammo, but we categorically refused that option. All the time she remained in the woods we could argue that she was a danger to no one, and we fought for more time to capture her alive." After the extensive search for the 18-month-old female lynx, the park was devastated to hear that they had run out of time, and Lilith would be hunted and shot. The statement said, "After a fruitless search we were informed that due to her being in a heavily populated area they would be issuing a shoot-to-kill order and we had run out of time." Co-owner of the zoo, Dean Tweedy, pictured right, was pictured looking for Lilith when she escaped from the attraction 2 weeks ago, made one final effort yesterday to lay traps for her, and we were out all day looking for her with catch nets, but the shocking call came in late last night that they had killed her. In just 24 hours they had called in marksmen who had used state-of-the-art night scopes and thermal imaging cameras to hunt her down and shoot her dead. To say we were devastated was an understatement. The local council and Dyfed Police tried a range of measures to capture the lynx, including baited traps. A police helicopter with heat-seeking cameras spotted the big cat, but it ran off before it could be caught. Lilith was dubbed the Beast of Both after escaping from her cage by making a giant leap over an electrified fence. The zoo, which has 4 other lynx along with 2 lions and a crocodile, has been closed ever since the lynx escaped. Lilith was blamed after 7 sheep were found savaged to death in fields near the zoo at Borth, Cardiganshire. A Ceredigion Council spokesman said with deep regret that the animal had been humanely destroyed. Experts feared the wild cat could attack a person after it was spotted on a housing estate a mile away from the zoo. Ceredigion Council will now carry out an urgent safety inspection of the attraction, which was taken over by Mrs. Tweedy and her artist husband Dean earlier this year. The couple, who paid £625,000 for the zoo, admitted at the time they had no experience of handling dangerous animals. After Lilith escaped Mrs. Tweedy, there were problems with the compound where the wild cats are kept. Lilith was dubbed the Beast of Both after escaping from her cage by making a giant leap over an electrified fence. Shea said the lynx enclosure is old and very badly designed. We are in the process of building a much larger, modern enclosure on the side of the hill. There are a few blind spots in their current enclosure which cannot be investigated without going right in. The pair's first venture into caring for wild animals has been likened to the Matt Damon film We Bought a Zoo. The BBC were filming a documentary at the attraction when Lilith escaped.